Okay, you know, I decided that I wanted to do a little testing. You know, I did this for Gina Aaron's design team for the month of December, and I used this stencil of hers to do this face. This is actually a part 2 of where I left off, kinda, sorta. But this is the stencil that I used of Gina's. And I said on my video that I would sign it after I sprayed it with a fixative, and then there was a question about fixative. And you know, it was my first time actually working with my chalk pastels in, you know, this XL journal, so I couldn't layer it as much as I wanted to. And I'm sure if you go back and look at the previous video, you will find that this looks like it's been darkened down a little bit, and that's because I sprayed it with this fixative. I'm not even really sure where I got this from. A few years back or so, I was doing a lot of pastel work, teaching myself how to do it. And then I did these 2 really big pictures for my son, or both my sons. One was a set of lions, a male and female, and the other was this, and they were big, on big sanded paper. But I sprayed down the lions thinking that I was completely done with it. And, you know, I sprayed it down, it darkened it down so much, and I sprayed it down like on Christmas Eve, thinking that I'd wrap it up and give it to him for a Christmas present. But it took out every one of my highlights. And I went ahead and wrapped it up and gave it to him with the condition that I need to have it back so I can go back in with the lights. That's the only thing that I really want to caution about it. And you know, if you're putting it under glass, it's probably not really necessary. I did not spray my sons down, or my oldest sons down, of the fishing scene. And it just made me sick that it did that, and I swore I'd never spray another one down. But the only reason why I'm spraying this down is because it is in my journal and I'm going to be touching it. And you know, Gina was teaching a class in journaling Crazy Island style. It was a paid for course, and she did a Buddha out of charcoals, and I sprayed that down because it was done in my journal, and I was surprised how well it stuck. You know, I can, my fingers are a little dirty, but you know, I can rub this and basically it doesn't come off. It doesn't smear anymore. It doesn't, you know, so it's fixed on the page now. Now would be the good time to go in and put in highlights and, you know, if you were going to put it under glass. But since it's in a journal, I'm not going to go back into it that way because I would like to see what I can add on top of it. And the design team for 2018 received this stencil. This stencil of Gina's does not come out until February, I think. But I'll definitely link her Etsy shop and all that below. But this was just a curiosity follow-up to what I had done last month. And I decided, you know, that I got this nifty new stencil in, and I would kind of test it out a little bit. And you know, I thought maybe somehow I can get this. There's a face here, and maybe I can get this face to kind of sit on her shoulder, like her inner soul, or something like that. But I wanted to try some stamps and play with this new stencil a little bit and just see how it does over that fixative. And if I don't, I also sprayed a page with hairspray, because some people do that also. And we'll see how this goes. But kind of, you know, it's like she's talking to herself or listening to her soul. Or let's see how it goes. I may have put too much paint on my, this is just a little makeup sponge that I'm using. Did I get it all? I hope I got it all. Oh yeah, it did pretty well. You know, it could represent, you know, who she is on the inside, because we always tend to put our best front up to people. And I wanted to try some of these little swirls, I think, up here, and just to kind of represent. I'm just playing with this stencil, actually. I'm gonna see how it works. It's doing pretty good. And turn it a different way a little bit. Maybe I should have done white instead of a black cloud up there. Well, I think it's doing pretty good. It's a neat way to be able to use my pastels with the mixed media in my journals, because I had never tried this before with them. So just know. Paint's drying up. Well, I think that's going to work out pretty well. And maybe just to even it up a little over here. Put a few over here. Wow. There. I think that's good. I could have used the stars there, or the X's for stars. But I did want to show you that so this is what I use the Grumbucker on, and why this is drying. And this is the one that I used just my Suave Maximum Hold. It's a spray pump, and none of it is smearing. You know, I don't know if it'll transfer onto the other page. You could see that it kind of did before I sprayed it, but I wasn't impressed. It's not smudging. So it was my first time experimenting with the hairspray, and I just thought I'd come on and show it that it does essentially work, and it's probably a lot cheaper. Now, whether or not it yellows down or what, I don't know, because this one does say it's archival. And this may yellow with time. But yeah, I really kind of like how that turned out. And maybe I'll see about coloring up this little with a little speed through. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back, and you know, some of my markers are getting dried out, and so I had a little problem with this one down here, and I'll fix her up, but I'm not going to do it on camera. But I do want to somehow hopefully that stays on ink. I refilled my stays on ink, you know, with the re-inkers that you could buy, and I think I put a little too much in it, so I ended up just smudging the border on purpose because it was just too much ink. So, and then I put a little stays on the edge here. And you know, the fixative is really, it sealed in the pastels beautifully. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it, and I got to use my new stencil again. Always create your own happiness. I like that. And I did show you the other page, which I will finish at some other time, not right now. But this was the hairspray page. Okay, I just wanted to come on and put another layer over what I had sealed in with this fixative, just to see how it worked, and I thought I'd film it. So this is going to be a little bonus to my December design team for Gina Aaron's Designs, and now hopefully I can kind of clean up after Christmas and New Year's in my craft room. It's a mess. All right, bye-bye now.